Okay, here's the temperature sensor, and I have an alligator clip on each one of the terminals. This is the temperature sensor that goes to the computer, so I want to make sure that it works. Right now it's about room temperature. So if I look at my ohm meter, it's 2.7 ohms. I think that's 2.7 kiloohms. This is the temperature chart. It's basically just a variable resistor. So when it's cold, it could have a resistance as high as 5.2. Drop down here. About room temperature, it should be about 2.2. And then as it gets hotter, as the temperature goes up, the resistance will go down. So at 104 degrees Fahrenheit, it should be about 1.1, and so on. So 2.7 is about right for room temperature. I just got a cup of hot water from the sink. That's just hot enough to be uncomfortable, probably around 110 or so. And dip this in here and watch my meter. It should drop down, and it's dropping pretty fast. 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. It looks like it's working pretty good. 1.1, slowing down. 1.0, it's getting slower. Slowly dropping. So around 1.03, I can look in my chart. So that means the temperature of my water is between somewhere between 104 and 140. It's not super accurate, but it shows that this is a good temperature sensor, so I don't need to replace that. Here is a brand new temperature sensor, dashboard water temperature. If I check the resistance on that, boom, 0.79. Now if I dip it in the hot water, let's see what happens to the resistance. I think it switched to milliohms. So 0.772 ohms. I'm going to dip it in the water. Okay, it's in the water now. Going down. 0.32, 0.31, 0.30, 0.29. And if I take it out of the water, now I'm holding it up out of the water. It should be cooling back off. 0.36, 0.37, 0.38, 0.39. It's going back up again. 0.4. Alright, so that's how this thing works. And this was a brand new one, so I assume it would work really well. Let's check my old one. This is the old one that I took out. Okay, it switched back to regular ohms, I think. So it's 0.2, 0.3. Dip it in the hot water here and see what happens. 0.3. And in she goes. That dropped to 0. So this one might be bad. 0.3, 0.2. I put it back in the hot water. 0. So I think this one is bad. Could use it as a hole plug, I guess. For as cheap as these are, If you're not sure, just put a new one in. Alright, that's it for my little experiment with temperature sensors.